My beloved child, amid the noise of life, there is a voice that does not come from sound, but from the depths of the soul. It is my voice, the voice of the one who called you by name when the first light was separated from darkness. You did not stumble upon these words by coincidence. It was not chance that led you here. It was I who guided your spirit to this very place, at this very moment, so that you might once again hear the echo your heart once knew but had forgotten amid the noise of the world. I have spoken many times through dreams, through silence, through the gaze of those you've met, but now I speak plainly, not through symbols, but through spirit. For the hour has come when every soul must face its true calling, the call to return to the source of life itself. My child, I know you are weary. I see your trembling hands as you try to hold on to what is fading. I see the tears that fall quietly when no one notices. I hear the sighs you hide in the stillness of the night. And even when you think no one understands the emptiness within you, I do. I know. I have been present in every moment, silently watching, patiently waiting, because I knew there would come a day when you would stop and turn back toward the light. You think you came here out of curiosity, but it is your soul answering the call from eternity. Like a traveler wandering through a barren desert searching for water that never runs dry, you have sought what could satisfy your thirst, yet none could tell you where it flows. Today I tell you that living water is me. I am life. I am the very breath flowing through you. Everything you seek, peace, love, belonging, begins in me and finds its fulfillment in me. There is no other way. You have walked through many crossroads. There were times you believed you were moving toward light, only to find it was a mirage born of desire and fear. You tried to find meaning and success and approval in hands that held you for their own gain, but all of it dissolved. For nothing apart from me can make you whole. You were created by my spirit, and only in me can you find yourself. The world will continue to promise you much. It will whisper sweetly that happiness lies in having more, achieving more, becoming greater. But my child, that is the most subtle trap. The more you chase, the emptier your soul becomes, like one walking in the night, grasping for light, only to find their hands full of nothing. What you need is not more, but returning to the one who made you. I do not require you to be perfect before you come to me. It is I who will perfect you. Like the potter who patiently shapes clay, I am molding your soul even when you feel you are breaking apart. But you do not yet see that my hands can only touch what you allow me to reshape those old forms. Those things you once believed were yourself, but were merely shells built to protect your fear. I do not destroy, I restore. I do not take away, I purify. Each time you lose something, it is not the end, it is the beginning of something truer, deeper, eternal. You ask, why must I go through pain to find peace? My child, because only in brokenness can your soul learn to open. If a grain of wheat does not fall to the ground and die, it remains alone. But when it breaks, life begins to grow. It is in weakness that you see where true strength comes from. It is through tears that you learn the meaning of grace. Do not fear suffering, for I dwell in the midst of it. Do not fear the dark, for my light is not extinguished within it. Like Joseph in the prison cell, who seemed forgotten yet was being prepared for the throne, so it is with you. Those years that felt wasted, those seasons of silence, are but the foundation for something greater. I am writing your story with ink that never fades, and every line carries purpose. Not one tear is wasted, not one lonely day is without meaning. Everything is held in my hands. If you look back, you will see that I have been there in your joys and your sorrows, in what you called failure and what you called blessing. I know you have asked many times, am I still worthy? Can I begin again? The answer is yes, not just yes, but always yes. My grace has no expiration. It does not lessen when you fall, nor vanish when you doubt. I loved you before you ever knew how to love yourself, and I still love you even when you no longer believe in love. My child, I am not shocked by your wounds nor weary of your repeated stumbles. I knew you would fall, but I also knew you would rise again when you heard my voice calling. That is why I have never stopped calling your soul. As you read these words, my spirit is touching the deepest place within you where reason cannot reach. Do not try to understand with your mind. Feel it with your spirit. For some truths can only be known when the heart humbles itself and grows still. I did not come to place another burden upon you, but to lift it away. I did not come to condemn, but to cleanse. Like the father embracing his prodigal child, I open my arms to welcome you home. No sin is greater than my mercy. No stain is too deep for my blood to wash clean. You need only do one thing: return. Just open the door. And when you do, I will come in not as a guest, but as the one who has waited since the dawn of creation to dwell with you. My beloved child, time is not as abundant as you think. Everything is moving, shifting, awakening. I am shaking the world, stirring the sleeping souls, calling them home before the light withdraws from the horizon. Do not delay. Do not promise to seek me when it's more convenient, for more convenient is the lie of the darkness. This very hour has been appointed. This very moment is your invitation to step out of the shadows and into the light. I do not ask you to understand everything, only to believe. For faith is not seeing in order to believe. It is believing in order to see. When you believe, the door opens, and I will show you what eyes have never seen and ears have never heard. You were not created to wander aimlessly. You were made to reflect my glory amid a fading world. That is why my call never ceases. No matter how far you go, no matter how many layers of doubt you bury yourself, under my voice continues to echo, gentle yet unyielding. You belong to me. When my call touches your spirit, something within you begins to move softly like breath, yet deeply. It is not confusion nor a fleeting emotion. It is your soul awakening from a long sleep. You have heard many voices, the voice of reason, of fear, of ambition, and the echoes of memory. But among all these sounds, there is only one that brings peace, mine. My voice is never loud, never forceful, never urgent. It is gentle like the breeze that passes over a quiet field, yet powerful enough to make mountains bow. When you truly listen, you will realize that I have never been silent. It is only that you have not been still enough to hear. Stillness is my language, and in that silence I speak more than 1,000 words. You cannot hear me amid the chaos of the world, the flood of opinions, the restless demands of self. You must step into stillness where no one exists but you and me. There you will see that I was never far. Just sit, breathe, and allow your soul to rest. In that moment, my light begins to shine, and the veils covering your heart will slowly dissolve. Like morning mist melting before the sun, my truth will be revealed, not as something distant, but as the very breath filling your being. Do you know why your soul often feels empty, even surrounded by so much brilliance? Because you were made for something higher, not to compete, but to walk in rhythm with me, not to accumulate, but to pour out. Not to build temples for your ego, but to become a temple for my spirit. You have spent too much time trying to become what the world demands, while I have been waiting for you to return to become who you were meant to be. Everything I designed within you bears the imprint of divine intention. Nothing in you is wasted, not your scars, your weaknesses, nor your failures. All are woven into the story of redemption. Like David, who fell in sin yet was still called a man after my own heart, you too can be restored if you truly return. I did not choose you because you were flawless. I chose you because I saw within you a seed of eternity. That seed has not died, it has merely been buried beneath layers of fear and regret, and now my light is awakening it. Do not fear when your soul begins to tremble. That trembling is not weakness. It is life stirring again. A dead spirit does not tremble. But when my spirit touches you, everything within you begins to live once more, old faith, sleeping hope, wounded love, all rising again to breathe. Remember, restoration does not come in one dazzling moment, but through quiet, patient steps. I am never in haste, and I overlook nothing. When I heal, I make a whole. Like a jeweler polishing the corners of a rare gem, I carefully refine your soul. At times you will feel pain, for light exposes what you once hid. But know this, I never expose to shame. I reveal to set you free. My light does not come to judge, but to guide your path. You have wandered too long in the narrow alleys of fear, in the maze of doubt. Now let me lead you out. Let me take your hand as I once took Peter's when he began to sink in the sea. The waves may rise, the wind may roar, but if you keep your eyes on me, you will not drown. I am the strength that holds you steady amid the storm. You think faith means never feeling fear, but true faith is daring to hold my hand even when fear remains. I do not ask you to be unshakable. I only ask that you do not let go. This world will not pause for your healing. It will remain loud, pulling you back to its old rhythm. But you must choose. And this choice is not made once, it must be made each day, each hour, each thought. You must choose between my voice and the world's noise, between light and shadow, between life and death. I cannot choose for you, for love never coerces. Yet I always wait, always illuminate the way home. You may stumble, but do not stop. You may weep, but do not turn back. Keep walking, for I walk with you. Let your heart learn to trust even when your eyes cannot see. For once you truly hear, nothing will draw you back to what once was. When your soul recognizes me, all else loses its pull. You will no longer chase what fades, for you have found the Eternal One. And then you will understand that this call within the silence is not merely an invitation, it is the beginning of resurrection. My beloved child, when your heart begins to soften and the long-closed door starts to open, that is the moment heaven touches the earth. There is no thunder, no raging wind, only the gentle breath of my spirit moving into the deepest chambers of your soul. The world may not notice what is happening, but all of heaven trembles with joy when one soul returns home. Every angel rejoices, for in that sacred instant you once lost, once wounded, once doubting, your worth allow light to reach the place where darkness once reigned. I do not need you to come in perfection. I only need you to come in truth. For I am truth itself, and wherever truth abides, there I am. When you dare to look into the most broken part of yourself without running away, when you face the shadows yet still open your heart to let me in, that is true faith. Faith is not walking in daylight. It is continuing to walk when only a single ray of light remains to guide you. Like Abraham, who left his homeland without knowing where he was going, you are invited to step beyond your comfort, beyond the walls you built for protection, into the radiance where my love can touch every fracture within you. You do not yet know the wonder that awaits when you open your heart. When your soul truly surrenders, my spirit fills the inner space. It does not arrive with noise, but with gentle power, the same power that calmed the sea with a single word that rolled the stone away when death yielded to life. You will feel change, not through sight, but through a lightness in your spirit. The fears that once bound you will lose their strength. The accusing voices will fade away. In their place, you will begin to hear a new sound, not words of condemnation, but the rhythm of my heartbeat within you. Each beat whispers, "You belong to me." You are not abandoned. You are loved. This love is unlike any you have known. It demands nothing, it trades nothing, it keeps no record of wrongs. It covers, it cleanses, it restores. Like the prodigal returning to his father's embrace, you too are coming home. I do not ask where you have been. I do not recount your mistakes. I do not demand explanations. I simply ran to you and held you close. For every moment you were gone, I was waiting just to hear you say, "Father, I have come home." And with those words, heaven erupts in celebration. No, this surrender is not defeat. It is the doorway to freedom. The world teaches that surrender is weakness, but in my kingdom it is strength. For when you cease relying on your own power, you make room for mine to move. When you stop trying to control, you allow grace to work. When you let go, you are truly lifted. It is within that surrender that you will find what you have sought so long in vain: peace. Not the fragile, conditional peace the world gives, but peace that surpasses understanding, the kind no one can take away, for it is rooted not in circumstance but in my presence within you. When you learn to abide in me, the storms outside lose their authority. Just as Jesus rested in the boat amid the tempest, you too will discover what true rest is. You do not need to prove yourself worthy of my love. You need only believe that I have chosen you even before you chose me. That truth frees you from the weight of self-validation. You do not need to be good enough to be loved. You are loved, and that love makes you whole. You do not labor to be accepted. You are accepted, therefore you are free to live. This is a truth the world cannot grasp, but your soul will know it when it grows still in my spirit. Do not fear when I begin to touch the places you have long avoided. True healing does not come by ignoring pain, but by allowing my light to enter it. I will not deepen your wounds. I will make you whole. Like a careful physician drawing an arrow from a wound, I will touch the tender places, not to punish, but to uproot what keeps you bound to fear. My child, do not resist when I begin my work. Every tear you shed I count, every sigh you release I hear. And I tell you now, the hour of resurrection has come. You are no longer defined by your past, no longer imprisoned by regret, no longer chained to the voices of old. You are stepping into a new chapter where even your weakness becomes the ground upon which my glory is revealed. Like the staff in Moses' hand, ordinary, until I touched it, your life too will become an instrument of deliverance. When I dwell within you, the small becomes extraordinary. When I touch what seems dead, it comes alive again. When you surrender, you will see that what you lose is nothing compared to what you gain. So let your soul speak these words, not as a ritual, but as a true cry from the heart. Here I am, Lord. That alone will open every door. Heaven will answer. I will come and dwell with you. From this moment on, you will never walk alone. You will hear my voice in the quiet night. You will see my traces in the smallest things. You will feel my warmth even in the coldest places. This is the beginning, not the end. This is the moment when true life begins to flow again within you, carrying light, peace, and purpose written for you before the foundations of the earth. Hold on to this truth and do not let it fade. For when you keep me in your heart, nothing can ever separate you from my love, my beloved child. After you have heard the call and opened your heart to receive the light, the true journey begins. The light does not come only to comfort, but also to reveal. It does not bring only warmth, but also exposure to the hidden corners you once feared to face. You may think that once you choose me, everything will become easier. But the truth is, the stronger the light, the clearer the shadows appear. This is not punishment, it is purification. When my light enters, it touches the deepest parts of you, old wounds, memories, habits, illusions. Then your soul may feel as if everything inside is being turned upside down. You will ask, why does it seem that the more I believe, the more trials I face? My child, it is because I am doing what the darkness despises most. I am cleansing it. No one pours new wine into old wineskins. No one builds a new house upon a broken foundation. I am rebuilding you from within, and sometimes that process feels like destruction. But in truth, I am only removing what no longer serves my purpose in you. Like the silversmith who places silver in the fire to remove its impurities, I too bring you through the furnace of trial so that you may become pure. The flame is not meant to consume but to refine. For only after passing through the fire Can you fully reflect my light? Do not fear the darkness, my child, for it no longer has dominion over you. It is merely the backdrop against which my glory shines brighter. You are learning to trust amid uncertainty, to stand firm when feelings fade, to see with faith instead of sight. This is spiritual maturity. There will be moments when you feel my silence. That silence is not absence. It is an invitation to go deeper into faith. Just as a teacher remains quiet during a test, not because he has left the classroom, but because he is observing what the student has learned, so it is with me. I have not left you. I am watching to see whether you will trust what I have spoken, even when you no longer feel it. True faith is not proven in fullness, but in emptiness. When Job lost everything and still declared, "Though he slayed me, yet will I trust in him," that was pure faith. And it is that kind of faith I am building within you, a faith unmoved by circumstance, unshaken by emotion, unchanging with time. Only such faith can stand when storms arise. You may feel now as though you are walking through a dark valley. The path ahead is unclear and your heart trembles. But my child, never forget that I am there. It is in the valley that I reveal my nearness most. Light does not need to prove itself at noon. It is in the night that it shows its strength, and I am the light that never fades. Remember my promise. Even though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you will fear no evil, for I am with you. Psalm 2:3-4. I did not promise that you would avoid suffering, but I did promise that you would never face it alone. When you are weak, I am your strength. When you fall, I am the hand that lifts you. When you are silent, I am the whisper in the stillness. I am not waiting for you at the end of the path. I walk beside you in every step. Sometimes you think you have lost me, but in truth it is I who carry you when you have no strength left to move. I do not abandon any soul that calls upon my name. Even when you cry out in desperation, your prayer reaches my throne. You think the darkness is surrounding you, but in truth it is within that darkness that I am sheltering you, preparing you for the dawn. Do not run from purification, for it is the doorway to true freedom. The price of growth is testing. Every child I love I discipline, not to make them fearful but strong, not to crush them but to teach them to rise by the power of the Spirit rather than by the strength of the flesh. The world teaches you to avoid pain, but I teach you to walk through it. For only through it will you discover the depths of faith. Like gold in the fire, only after enduring great heat does its brilliance appear. I will not extinguish the flame while it refines you, for I know that when the trial ends, you will emerge brighter, stronger, and nearer to me than ever before. Child, there will be days when you look around and see no trace of me, when your prayers seem to vanish into the air, when everything you once believed feels uncertain. The fire of faith that once burned bright may flicker weakly, and you will whisper, "Where are you, Lord, when I need you most?" I hear that cry, the ache of a soul longing for my presence. My child, I have never left. I am simply teaching you to see through different eyes, eyes that do not depend on emotion or sight, but on truth. For faith is not born in radiant daylight, but in the long night of waiting. It is in the silence when you think I am absent that I am working most deeply. When a seed rests hidden beneath the soil, no one sees it breaking open, but only through that breaking does life begin. So do not fear when you feel buried. You are not buried, you are being planted. And the season of growth will come in my time when you are ready to bloom in the light. Perhaps now you are in the dark night of the soul, like David, who cried, "How long, O Lord, will you hide your face from me?" Psalm 1:3-1. Yet remember, even in his lament, David also said, "But I trust in your unfailing love." It is faithfulness in the dark that reveals the truest faith. You do not need to be strong all the time. You only need to be sincere. You may cry, you may question, you may even doubt, but do not turn away. Stay even if only with one faint breath of trust, for one breath of faith is enough to reach me. I do not seek perfection, I seek honesty. When you say, Lord, I do not understand, but I still believe, heaven trembles, for that is the voice of a soul learning to love me for who I am, not merely for what I give. That love, the love that stands firm without reward, that believes without proof, that clings without guarantee, is the love that nothing can ever break. And once you reach that love, no power on earth or in heaven can separate you from me, my beloved child. The trials you now face are not signs of abandonment. They are evidence that you are being shaped. Every crack within your soul is not meant to weaken you, but to let my light shine through. You asked me to make you stronger, so I gave you opportunities to learn how to stand. You asked me for peace, so I placed you in the storm that you might learn peace is not found when the wind stops, but when you know I am with you in the midst of it. You asked me for faith, so I invited you to walk upon the water, where the only way to stand is to keep your eyes on me. You see, my child, I do not always give you what you want. I give you what you need to become like me. And you will find that after every trial, your soul grows deeper, your faith grows stronger, your heart grows gentler, and the light within you shines purer than before. Understand, this suffering is not the absence of my presence. It is often the very path through which I reveal myself. In pain, you learn compassion. In lack, you discover the meaning of abundance. In loneliness, you come to value my presence. I have walked this path before you. I too have known loneliness, betrayal, and suffering, so that you would know there is no pain you carry that I do not understand. I bore it all upon the cross, so that you might find life where death once reigned. The cross was never the end, it was the doorway into resurrection. So when you find yourself suspended between pain and faith, remember that resurrection morning always follows the darkness of Friday. My silence is not forgetfulness, it is a promise ripening in time. I am preparing something far greater than what you have asked for. Do not compare your journey to that of others. Each soul has its own path of transformation. Some must walk through the wind, others through the fire, but all are held in the same hands. I know the measure of your strength, and I will never let the fire burn beyond what it must. When you are exhausted, remember, my power is made perfect in your weakness. When you have no words left to pray, let your tears speak. Every tear is gathered by me, every sigh reaches my heart, and when the appointed time comes, I will lift you up like an eagle, raising its young upon its wings. You will look back and see that no pain was wasted. Every sorrow, every struggle, every tear has shaped who you are now, a soul tested, refined, and anchored in unshakable trust. My child, when you have walked through the fire, when you have wept for what is no more, when your soul is stripped bare until only truth remains, that is the moment when light begins to rise. Not a blinding light that dazzles, but a gentle, ripened light born of sorrow deep and more real than anything you've ever known. It does not come from without, but from within, from the very place where I dwell inside you. This light not only illuminates you, but flows through you, becoming a stream of healing for others. You once thought your wounds made you weak, but it is from those wounds that compassion is born. You once thought loss was failure, but within loss, I plant the seeds of new life. Like Joseph, sold as a slave and forgotten in prison, yet in that very place I was preparing him to save a nation, so it is with you. None of your suffering has been random. It is woven into my divine design like dark threads that give depth to a radiant tapestry. Without darkness, you would not perceive the depth of light. Without trials, you would not know how steadfast my faithfulness truly is. And now, as you look back, you will see that what once seemed broken was simply the way I was making all things whole. Do not be ashamed of your scars. They do not mar your beauty, they prove that you have been healed. Every wound carries a story, and every story can become a testimony of grace. When you let me touch your wounds, they cease to be your weakness and become springs of life. Your tears, when they fall into my hands, are never wasted. They become seeds planted in the garden of grace. From pain you will learn to love more deeply. From loss you will learn to cherish what is eternal. From silence you will learn to hear my whisper, even in the faintest breath. You will realize that faith is not the torch that banishes every shadow. It is the small flame that continues to burn even when the storm rages. That flame, my child, is the one I myself lit within you, and no one can extinguish it, for it was kindled not by your effort, but by my breath. Hold that flame close, for from this moment you are called to carry light. Not your own light, but mine, the light, refined through darkness, tested by tears and tempered by time. You are no longer who you were. Your soul has changed. Your eyes have been opened. Your heart now beats in rhythm with eternity. Now I want you to understand something. Even deeper true light does not come to erase the darkness, but to transform it. My light does not destroy it, recreates. I do not erase your past, I redeem it. Everything that once bound you will become a testimony of deliverance. Everything that once brought you low will become the foundation of victory. You need not rewrite your story. Simply let me finish it. I will turn the darkest places into the backdrop of the greatest glory. Just as the night gives way to dawn, I will cause new life to spring forth from what you thought was an ending. You have wept in the night, but morning is coming. You thought you had lost everything, but in truth you were being kept safe. I have allowed nothing to touch you that I will not use for your good. Let the darkness become the canvas upon which my light shines brightest. Do not fear your past. Do not despise your imperfections. I use it all, the beautiful and the broken, the light and the shadow, to form the person I intended you to be. And when you live in that truth, the world will see in you not merely one who fell and rose again, but a living testimony of unchanging love. Child, so lift up your head. You have walked through fire and through water, and yet you still stand not by your own strength, but by my grace. From this moment on, you will know that whenever darkness comes, it is not a sign of abandonment, but an invitation. Look up to me, for my light never fades. And you will live as one who knows this truth, bringing that light into places where no one dares to go, speaking hope, where others see only despair, and choosing to love while the world still trembles in fear. You will become a lamp set upon a hill where no one can hide its glow. Do not be afraid when the light within you unsettles others. Keep shining, keep living, keep believing, for through you my glory will be revealed. My beloved, now that the darkness has been illuminated and your soul restored, I desire to give you a deeper gift, the flame of transformation. This is not a fire that comes to destroy, but a holy fire that refines, that rekindles, that awakens what has grown cold. From the beginning of time I have used fire to reveal my presence, the flame that burned upon the bush, yet did not consume it, the pillar of fire that led my people through the desert night, the tongues of fire that descended upon my Portiavrias, disciples at Pentecost. Each time this flame appeared, the old was consumed and something new was born. And now, my beloved, that same fire is being kindled within you. It does not arise from your will, but from my spirit. When I breathe life into you, what once was dead will live again. What once was closed will open. I do not only desire to heal you, I desire to transform you. Healing makes you whole. Transformation makes you radiant. And only when this fire burns within you will you become the living image of me upon this earth. My fire cannot dwell in hearts still clinging to ashes. It seeks a cleared space, a surrendered heart, a soul willing to release the old to receive the new. You cannot hold on to fear and expect the flame to rise. You cannot grip the past and hope to be renewed. My fire dwells only in those who allow me to sweep away the dust that has settled upon the soul. You have walked through darkness and endured refining, and now you are ready. But remember this, when the holy flame begins to burn, it not only illuminates your path, it also reveals what is yet to be reborn. It exposes the hidden corners where fear, doubt, and old wounds still reside. Do not be afraid of this. When I reveal, it is not to condemn, but to restore. Just as the furnace does not destroy gold but removes its dross, my fire separates the true from the false, the eternal from the fleeting. And you will come to see that everything I remove was never truly yours to begin with. My child, my fire bears two faces. It consumes and it illuminates. It burns away sin, yet it warms the soul. It shatters chains, yet it nourishes love. It destroys deceit, yet it ignites within you a deep and holy desire, a longing to live wholly in me. When this flame burns, you will feel an irresistible stirring, a stirring to pray, to love, to forgive, to live authentically. You will see the old ways lose their hold, and everything that belongs to me will shine with clarity. You will no longer settle for half measures, for this flame demands your all. It calls you out of a life that is merely good enough and into a life that is sanctified. And when you respond, the fire will spread not only within you but through you. Others will feel its warmth when they draw near. They will recognize the light in your eyes, the grace in your words, the tenderness in your actions. For the flame I have placed within you cannot be hidden. It will shine not by your strength, but by my presence in you. I do not want you merely to survive. I want you to carry the fire. This world has grown cold. Souls are losing their faith. Hope is fading. Hearts are numbed by indifference. And I need those like you, those who have walked through the fire and no longer fear its heat, to bring warmth to the weary. You cannot give what you have not received, but now you have been touched. You have been ignited. Let that light spread. Go forth as a torch in the night, as a voice calling through the silence, as a witness that light will never be overcome by darkness. I have chosen you for this, not because you are perfect, but because you know what it is to fall and rise again, to lose, and be found to weep in the dark and still believe in the dawn. You understand the language of the broken, and that is why you can bring my light there. I do not send you to be great, I send you to bring warmth. I do not ask you to be impressive, I ask you to be faithful. Let the flame within you never die. Each morning as you awaken, remember that you carry the breath of the Creator within your chest. Each time you speak, let your words carry fire. Each time you pray, let my spirit ignite you anew. Each time you love, let it be with a flame that fears no extinction. For in that love, steady, holy, and alive, the world will know that I live in you. My beloved child, when my fire has been kindled in your heart, it will no longer be a fire that belongs to you alone. Within that flame lies a mission to shine, to warm, and to awaken the cold souls around you. The holy fire does not come for you to guard it in the safe corner of your life. It comes to spread, to burn, where darkness still reigns. Like a candle that does not lose its light when it ignites another, your flame too will only grow stronger the more you share it. And that, my child, is why I have placed you exactly where you are, among those who do not yet know the light, among souls who thirst deeply but cannot name their longing. You are not there by accident. You are the bearer of fire, sent to bring warmth to what has grown cold, to bring life where hope has withered. I do not need you to preach with eloquent words. I need you to live. For when the flame within you truly burns, others will see me in your eyes, hear me in your voice, and feel me in the way you love. I know there are moments when you are afraid that your light is too small to make a difference, afraid that your flame will fade when the winds of life rise. But remember, this is not a flame you lit, it is one I breathed into you. And my fire does not die in the wind, it burns brighter. You do not need to guard the flame, you only need not to hide it. Do not conceal your light under the bowl of fear or beneath the cloak of pleasing others. The world does not need more hidden lamps, it needs true fire. Live with honesty, walk in truth. For truth itself is the fuel of the sacred flame. Each time you forgive, instead of resent, the flame grows. Each time you choose patience over anger, it shines brighter. Each time you choose love over fear, it becomes stronger. Do not think you must do something grand to carry my fire. A gentle word, a kind glance, a small act of compassion can light an entire night within another's heart. When I breathed this fire into you, it was not only that you might shine, but that you might become a place of warmth for others. There are souls who have wandered too long in the cold of doubt, disappointment, and loneliness. They have forgotten that true love still exists, and when they encounter you, I want them to sense it not through sermons but through presence. When you listen to someone with sincerity, I am speaking through you. When you reach out to lift the weary, I am touching them through you. When you forgive those who have wounded you, I am revealing my mercy through you. For I do not wish merely to dwell within you, I long to be revealed through you. The fire within you is not meant only to keep you warm, but to make you a lighthouse for those adrift upon the sea of life. And my child, light finds its true purpose only when it stands amid darkness. Do not run from the world, step into it, not to blend in but to illuminate. You will discover that when your flame spreads, not everyone will welcome it. Light exposes what has been hidden, and not all wish to see the truth. Some will distance themselves, others will doubt you, some may even oppose you. But do not be afraid. You are not called to please, you are called to shine. And light, though despised, never loses its worth. When Jesus brought light into the world, he too was rejected, yet the light did not go out. So it will be with you. Let me do my work through you, whether or not others understand. Do not quench the flame to make others comfortable. Let it burn, for in that flame I am moving. Some will awaken hearts, will soften souls, will draw near to the light. Your flame need not be large to be powerful. It only needs to be real. Remember, as you carry the fire, you must also return to the source. A flame cannot burn apart from my breath. Come back to me each day like a keeper tending the lamp and pouring in fresh oil. Do not let the work you do for me replace the time you spend with me. For only in my presence will the flame within you retain its pure heat. Come, my child, and let me pour over you the oil of joy instead of ashes, the breath of life instead of weariness. When you abide in me, the fire not only burns, it sings. It sings the song of grace, of renewal, of unending hope. And through that flame, the world will know that my light still lives, still shines, still transforms. Keeping the sacred flame alive is not a matter of emotion, but of faithfulness. The fire does not die for lack of light, it dies for lack of prayer. Prayer is the breath I send into your soul each day, keeping the flame from turning to ash. Do not look for warmth in noisy moments of excitement, find it in the quiet. For true fire does not need a storm to blaze, it burns steadily in the silence the world overlooks. When you sit before me, wordless, unhurried, simply present, I rekindle the flame within you. Even when you feel nothing, when your spirit feels dry and your prayers seem to vanish into the void, I am there adding oil to the lamp. You do not have to make the fire burn, you only have to remain in me. Every moment you choose to stay, the flame is preserved, and in time you will see that this quiet faithfulness, this steadfast staying, is the secret to keeping the fire alive through every season of the wind. My beloved child, my fire does not burn only in the bright seasons, it burns also through the storm. There will be days when you feel the flame flicker, when the winds of trial blow too fiercely. But do not be afraid. The wind does not extinguish the fire, it only makes it dance. In truth, it is the wind that strengthens the flame, for it blows away the ash so the light can shine more clearly. Look back at the storms you once feared. Can you see now? They did not destroy you, they forged you. You learned that faith is not anchored in circumstances, but in the one who never changes. When I said, "Let your light shine before others," I did not mean you must always appear strong. I meant you must be genuine. The truer the flame within you, the brighter it shines. Do not strive to appear perfect. Let my light shine through your cracks. It is through those very cracks that the fire bursts forth the strongest. Like Gideon's earthen jars, it was only when they broke that the light spread everywhere. You were created not to conceal the light behind flawless walls, but to reveal it through grace. The world does not need to see you unfallen. It needs to see you rise by grace. That is how the sacred flame spreads. Understand, my child, keeping the fire is not merely for survival, it is for multiplication. You cannot keep the flame without sharing it. Each time you pray for someone, you pass on a spark. Each time you lift the weary, you help them hold their torch. When you intercede in secret, your fire does not weaken, it grows brighter. For my fire never diminishes in giving, it expands. Learn this truth: to preserve the flame, you must let it touch others. If you hold it only for yourself, it will suffocate. But if you allow it to become a common light, it will never die. That is the law of my kingdom: what you release is multiplied. And remember, the flame is not only for the daylight of blessing, but for the long nights of trial. When you are weary, do not try to rekindle it by your own strength. Return to the source. Feed it with my word, with silent gratitude, with the breath of trust. Each time you turn back to me, I breathe again, and the flame grows steadier than before. This fire is not merely a gift. It is the mark of a covenant. It is the reminder that I am within you and that you belong to me. Wherever you go, the fire will not depart, for it is not born of you, but of my own essence within you. As the pillar of cloud and fire led Israel through the wilderness, so my presence will go before you, guiding by night, sheltering by day. When you learn to walk by that light, you will not lose your way. Do not fear losing the fire, for I never withdraw what I have kindled. But nurture it with love, with faithfulness, with the discipline of the soul. Each time you choose stillness over haste, gratitude over complaint, hope over fear, you keep the flame alive. And that flame through the years will grow into a light that cannot be extinguished, a light that will shine for generations, from you to your children, from your children to your people, until the whole earth is illuminated with my glory. My child, the road ahead will not be one of comfort, but of purification. For true light, when it shines deep within, does not only reveal beauty, it uncovers what still needs renewal. Purification is not punishment. It is proof that I am still working for you. Like the gardener pruning away branches that bear no fruit, I too cut so your soul may bloom more abundantly. Every cut I make is shaped by love, though it may cause pain. You think I am taking away, but I am clearing space for greater growth. No pruning is wasted, and no wound escapes my redemption. As gold is refined by fire, as grapes are pressed to become wine, as a grain must break to sprout, so must you endure this process. I know it frightens you. You have lost much, and you fear losing more. But hear me, nothing you surrender into my hands is truly lost. What you call loss, I call planting. And when the season comes, you will reap a harvest 100-fold greater than what seemed to vanish. There are things you once believed were essential to your identity, but when the light comes, you will see they were only layers of protection. I do not want you to live bound by those layers forever. I want you free, and so I begin to remove them. You call it loss, I call it liberation. Sometimes I take away a relationship, a dream, a position, not to leave you empty, but to teach you that you do not need those things to be whole. Everything I remove, I replace with something better, not better by your measure, but by my eternal design. When you lose comfort, I give you depth. When you lose approval, I give you roots in the spirit. When you lose human support, I teach you to stand by faith. I am doing something far deeper than your eyes can see. Do not rush to conclude while I am still at work. The vine does not understand why the gardener cuts, but after winter it knows, because it blooms brighter than before. So let me prune, my child. Do not cling to what is withered. Do not hold what I have asked you to release. Each time you say yes to my refining, you are saying yes to the glory that follows. Purification is the road every chosen one must walk. No lamp shines without being cleaned. No soul carries my fire without first being separated from the dust. You cannot bear my flame with a heart full of old ashes. So I work within you, sometimes quietly, sometimes through shaking. I will unsettle what once felt safe, not to destroy, but to root you in what is real. When you feel lost, ask, Lord, what are you teaching me in this storm for? In every upheaval there is a hidden lesson. I do not send storms to drown you, but to wash away what is not of you. I do not send fire to destroy, but to clarify. My purification is never apart from my love. Believe this, even when you cannot understand. Like the potter who places the clay into the kiln not to shatter it but to strengthen it, I too set you into the furnace of time, that you may emerge enduring, useful and radiant with my glory wherever you go. My beloved child, be brave as you step into this season. Do not be afraid when you feel yourself being stripped away, for only when the old layers fall can you take the form I have always intended. Remember, you are not alone in the fire. Just as I was with the 3 young men in the furnace of King Nebuchadnezzar, I am with you now. The fire may burn hot, but it will not consume you. It will only make you shine brighter. You will not be destroyed in this process, you will be reborn. When you emerge from the furnace, not even the smell of smoke will cling to your robe. Every wound, every painful memory, every failure that once weighed upon you will be transformed into testimony. Others will look at you and see that I am still at work, that grace is not merely a word but a living power that turns ashes into glory. And when you understand this, you will stop asking why and begin to say thank you. For you will know that every cut, every flame, every breath of fire has been shaping you into the person I envisioned from the beginning. My beloved, as your soul journeys deeper into my refining fire, you will begin to see that purification is not a momentary phase, but the steady rhythm of spiritual life. Holiness does not come from fleeing the world, but from letting my spirit transform you in the midst of it. You do not need to hide in the mountains or withdraw into solitude to be made holy. What I desire is that you allow me to refine you right where you are within your work, your relationships, your everyday choices. For every day, in the smallest details, you are given the chance to choose my way over the way of the flesh. Purification happens not through distance, but through relationships. Each time you forgive instead of resent, remain silent. Instead of react, love. Instead of withdraw, the refining flame spreads within you. It softens your heart, smooths away pride, and makes you light enough for me to lift you higher. You may think you are losing strength, but in truth you are shedding the weight that once held you down. Refining does not make you smaller. It makes you transparent so that my light can pass through you unhindered. Learn to cooperate with the refining. Do not resist when I correct you, for my correction is never cruel. It is wrapped in love, guided by purpose, and carried out by hands that never tremble. There will be times you think I am silent, but I am watching, waiting to see if you are willing to go deeper. When I redirect you away from what you desire, it is not rejection, it is protection. When I close the door you longed for, it is not punishment. It is a reminder that you are not yet ready to enter. Purification is not only about cutting away sin, it is about discerning between the good and the right. Some things are not evil, but they are no longer meant for you. Some people are not wicked, but they are not called to walk with you in this season. Trust me when I separate you. Trust me when I quiet the noises you once called familiar, for only in stillness will you hear my voice clearly. As metal glows brighter after the fire, so will your soul, each refining, makes you reflect my image more truthfully. In this refining process, I want you to see the beauty of holy discipline. Discipline is not a chain. It is a structure that steadies you amid the current of life. Just as a heartbeat keeps the body alive, discipline keeps your soul within the rhythm of grace. Do not see prayer meditation on my word, or choosing righteousness as duties. See them as breath. For when your soul lives by these, it becomes as clear as morning light. Purification is learning to love what is pure more than what is fleeting, to remain silent when I do not speak, and to move when I give direction, to believe when everything around you tempts you to doubt. When you learn this, purity will no longer be effort, it will be nature. My child, let refining become your joy. Do not see it as deprivation, but as daily renewal. For when you allow me to shape you, I will do what you could never do alone. I will turn your soul into a temple reflecting my glory. And then you will no longer be merely one who is saved, but one who is sent, marked with holiness, so that through you the world will see that I am still alive, still working, still cleansing all who long for truth. Child, when purification has reached its fullness, your soul will understand that surrender is not loss, but freedom. The things you once feared to let go will feel weightless, because you will see that nothing truly belongs to you but me. Refinement will no longer feel like fire, but like light. It will not come to erase you, but to reveal who you truly are. Like a river that runs clear after the flood when the silt has settled, your soul will become calm and bright after seasons of testing. You will watch old desires fall away, old demands dissolve, and in their place will rise a peace that cannot be shaken. That is when I have taken full residence in your heart. There will no longer be you and me as two separate beings, but a single flow, your will merged with mine, your breath entwined with my breath. In that union, obedience will no longer feel like duty but delight. Love will no longer be something you strive for, it will be what you are. You will no longer seek my presence, for you will have become the dwelling place where I abide. My beloved child, purification does not lead you into asceticism, but into freedom. It does not demand that you deny yourself, but that you find your true self, the self I created before the world taught you how to wear masks. I have not called you to become an imitation of anyone else, but to return to your original image in me, pure, strong, gentle, and radiant. When your soul becomes transparent, my light will no longer be dimmed. Others will look at you and see not merely you, but me within you. Humility will become your strength, meekness, your authority, and your silence will echo as a hymn of peace. Then you will understand that purification does not end in emptiness, it ends in fullness. For in the space I have cleared, I have filled you with my own presence. Every breath, every step, every glance will bear a trace of the divine. The world may not understand, but every soul that seeks me will recognize that light for light calls to light, and life recognizes life. Remember, this purification is not just a phase you pass through, it is the rhythm of your being. It is the pulse of grace, ever cleansing, ever renewing, ever flowing. Each day I wash your soul with my word, I dust off the time-worn wings of your faith. Let me continue so you may remain clear before me. Do not fear returning to the fire when needed, for each time you do, your light will grow stronger and your heart will draw nearer to wholeness. When you learn to live in purification, you will discover that nothing in this world can stain you. You will walk among dust without being tainted, speak amid noise, yet remain still, live amid storms, yet continue to burn bright. For now you no longer carry the light, you are the light. And when I look at you, I see my own reflection shining back through your eyes. My child, that is the glory of purification, not to remove you from the world, but to transform you within it, that you might stand as living proof that my love can cleanse all things, renew all things, and turn ashes into eternal light. My child, when the refining has run its full course, when the ashes have settled and your soul is clear as crystal, that is when I begin to breathe the wind of revival. Revival is not a violent storm that tears down, but a gentle wind that awakens what once lay dormant. Just as I breathed life into Adam's lungs, I am breathing new life into your soul, not the life of the flesh, but of the spirit. You will feel a strength that is not your own, a divine current flowing from the depth where I dwell. Revival does not begin outside. It begins in the innermost chambers of the heart, when I rekindle what seemed extinguished, when I awaken what you thought was lost. From that moment you will live no longer by your own strength, but by the breath of my spirit. Every step you take, every word you speak, every choice you make will beat in rhythm with my heart. When I revive, I do not simply raise you up, I send you forth with new authority. What once caused you to fall will become the foundation of your strength. The pain that once silenced you will become your song of praise. I do not revive you merely so you may live again. I revive you so you may give life to others. Just as Ezekiel saw the valley of dry bones come alive when my spirit breathed upon them, so too will your soul rise. I will breathe upon the places within you that have grown dry, and they will live again. The dreams you thought were dead will be rewritten not from human desire but from divine intention. When I revive, I do not restore what was old. I make all things new in my light. So do not look back on your past with regret. See it as the soil tilled for a new season. The tree that endures the winter blooms more beautifully in spring, and so will your soul. After its seasons of testing, bear the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Galatians 5:22-23. I am reviving you so that you may live in true freedom. Freedom is not the right to do as you please. It is the grace to fulfill my will without the bondage of fear or sin. True freedom does not come when you escape discipline, but when you are released from the chains of self. When my spirit governs your heart, you will find joy even within limits, glory, even in service and life, even in sacrifice. Revival does not take you out of reality, it transforms the way you see it. You will perceive grace in small things, miracles in the ordinary, and me in every place. Then prayer will no longer be a ritual but breath. Worship will no longer be an event but a way of living. Everything you do, your words, your actions, your work, your rest, will become a hymn of surrender. And in that moment you will realize revival is not thunder from the skies, but the heartbeat of your soul moving in perfect rhythm with mine. My beloved child, when the breath of my revival begins to move through your soul, it will not come as a roaring storm, but as the gentle breeze of dawn. It will flow through every hidden corner of your heart, touching the places long closed, awakening life where you once thought all was dead. You will not see yourself transformed in an instant, but little by little you will notice fear dissolves, joy returns, and old faith is rekindled. True revival does not promise intense emotions or fleeting bursts of passion. It is the quiet returning of your soul to my rhythm, steady, enduring, and full of divine vitality. As I breathe, you will awaken from the long sleep of weariness, and your soul will begin to move in the cadence of eternity. What once seemed ordinary will become sacred: a drop of water, the sound of wind, the morning light, the laughter of a child. All will echo with my voice. Revival is not only being renewed, it is being redefined. You will see the world through new eyes, eyes washed by tears and illuminated by the fire of trial. When I revive you, I do not erase your past, I redeem it. The very things that made you fall will become the foundation of your new strength, for no wound healed by my hand is ever wasted. Just as a jeweler uses the cracks in a gem to refract its most radiant light, I use the fractures in your soul to reflect my glory. You do not need to flee from your memories. Allow me to turn them into a song of resurrection. Revival is not forgetting, but seeing again through transformed eyes, eyes that know, even in the deepest pain, my hand was always there. When your soul has been restored, I will place within you a new longing, the desire to live for something greater than yourself. You will feel within your heart a gentle yet powerful stirring the urge to share, to love, to carry light to those who have never known it. Revival cannot be contained within a single heart. It was born to spread. Like fire meeting the wind, it blazes stronger when shared. You will begin to recognize me in every encounter, every gaze, every soul placed upon your path. No one crosses your way by accident. Every person you touch is part of my greater work of renewal upon the earth. Let your love go beyond words and emotions. Let it take form in action, acts of kindness, patience, quiet hope. Each time you choose to love amid the cold, you give me the chance to touch the world through you. My child, I am doing something greater than you imagine. The revival within you is not just for you, it is the spark of awakening for many others. Remember, light was never meant to be hidden. It must shine to guide those walking through the night. I have not called you to echo another's voice, but to become your own sound woven with the breath of my spirit. When you live true to that calling, I will take care of the rest. You do not need to strive to make an impact. You need only to be faithful, and the light within you will find its way. The world is weary of hollow promises and lifeless religion. But when they see in you an unshakable peace, a gentleness that cannot be faked, and love without condition, they will recognize me without a single explanation. That is the power of true revival, not through noise but through presence. In this season of revival, I am also awakening within you sacred creativity. Do not think creativity belongs only to artists or scholars. It is the native language of a revived soul, for it mirrors the image of the Creator. As you pray, I will plant new ideas within you, not merely to beautify the world, but to heal it. A song can still a storm within someone's heart. A page of writing can open a soul long closed. A task done with love can become a doorway through which I enter another's life. Do not underestimate the small, for in my hands the smallest act can alter destiny. When I revive your soul, I also revive your imagination. I teach you to see potential in the ordinary, to hear music in silence, and to sense holiness in daily work. Let my spirit guide your hands, your thoughts, and your deeds, so that everything you touch carries the fragrance of heaven. Revival is not the result of effort. It is the fruit of presence. You cannot force a spring to arrive. You can only open yourself to receive it. Likewise, you cannot resurrect your soul by willpower. You must simply let me. Each day that you choose to rest in me, to stay calm in chaos, to pray instead of complain, you are keeping the current of revival alive. Do not chase the noise, for true life always germinates in quietness. Let me work in the depths of you, for what is planted in silence will bloom in power. When you persist in prayer and faithfulness in the little things, I will open doors to the greater ones. And when you look back, you will see the miracle that it was not grand gestures that changed your life, but the small, steady steps of obedience and trust. My beloved child, I tell you this so you will remember. Revival is not merely a season. It is a way of life. You are not called to pass through it, but to live within it. Every morning when you open your eyes is a new chance for my spirit to breathe again. Every night when you lie down to rest is a moment when I restore you in peace. You will learn to see everything as a miracle, the miracle of waking up, the miracle in the rhythm of your heartbeat, in the light seeping through the curtains, in the steady breath that sustains you. When your soul is revived, you will no longer seek miracles, you will live among them. For I do not only perform the extraordinary, I make the ordinary radiant with wonder. And then you will understand that revival is not about resurrecting what was lost, but about living fully in what is with me. When revival has taken deep root within your soul, you will realize that I do not simply want you to live. I want you to become life for others. Revival does not end in personal renewal. It expands into mission. I did not give you fire merely to keep yourself warm. I lit it so that you would be a light in the long night of this generation. The world is weary, disoriented, chasing meaning in fragile things. It does not need more noise, it needs those who carry my breath. You have walked through the shadows, endured, the refining been set aflame, and now I want you to rise, not as one exalted, but as one real, a living witness of love that never dies. My child, when your soul has been revived, you will no longer wish to live for yourself. You will feel within your heart a sacred longing, a desire to restore, to breathe life into those who are fading. I have prepared you for this moment. Every trial, every wound, every tear has been part of that preparation. No pain is ever wasted in my hands. When I revive, I turn pain into faith ashes, into testimony failure, into the foundation of new vision. You once asked why you had to walk through so many storms, and now the answer is in your very breath, so that you may bring life to those lost in the same darkness. Only those who have been broken can truly understand healing. Only those who have lost can grasp the joy of being found. You will not teach with intellect, but with the wisdom of a soul that has been touched by me. And when you speak, even in a whisper, hearts will know that it is not your voice, but the echo of grace. Do not fear this new calling. I know you feel small, not strong enough, not wise enough, not worthy enough, but it is in your lack that my power is made complete. You are not chosen because you are perfect, but because you are willing. I do not seek flawless vessels. I choose the ones that have been cracked, so my light can shine through. You are one of them. Walk even if your steps tremble. Speak even if your voice shakes. Believe even when your eyes cannot yet see. For I will go with you just as I went with Moses, the man who trembled before the burning bush, yet led a nation out of bondage. You do not need to know everything. You only need to trust that I do. Every step you take, I will level the path. Every door you knock upon, if it is mine, will open. And wherever you set your foot, life will spring forth. True revival is not found in noisy gatherings, but in souls who burn quietly in the ordinary. It does not erupt in the squares, but begins in the secret room where you kneel, where you are silent, where your tears mingle with prayer. Every time you bow low, I lift you up. Every time you surrender, I give you strength. When your soul aligns with my will, the world around you will begin to change. You will see the sacred hidden within the simple, a smile given to the weary, patience, in irritation forgiveness, in place of retaliation. That is how revival spreads. I do not need grand movements. I need steady hearts. This world will not be renewed by slogans, but by souls who love quietly. You are one of them. Carry your flame into every hidden corner, into places unseen, uncelebrated, unnoticed, for it is there that my light shines most brilliantly. My child, understand that revival is not merely the return of your soul, but the expansion of my kingdom. When you live by the Spirit, you participate in my work on the earth. Every small act done in love is recorded in eternity. Do not be deceived by scale. The greatest works of heaven often begin with the smallest seeds. A single whispered prayer can open the door for a generation. A humble gesture can soften a heart of stone. One faithful soul can shift the atmosphere of an entire city. You do not need to know how I will do it. You only need to do your part with genuine love. When you live rightly, your light will travel farther than you imagine. I will use you like a seed, small, but when sown in good soil, it will bear fruit 100-fold. It is time for you to step into spiritual maturity, no longer swayed by emotion, no longer ruled by circumstance, but anchored in truth. Maturity is not the absence of feeling, but their proper place. It is knowing that even when the wind changes, I do not. Even when others walk away, I remain. Maturity is when you know that prayer does not always make things easier, but it always makes you stronger. It is when you understand that my silence is not absence, but a deeper way of speaking. My beloved, learn to love even the seasons without miracles, for in them your faith becomes unshakable. When you can love me even when you do not see me move, That is when your soul is truly revived. I want to entrust you with the heart of a keeper of the flame. Revival is not a moment. It is a fire that must be tended for a lifetime. You cannot live on memories of what I once did. You must feed the fire with daily prayer. Keep your heart soft, so my spirit may stir it easily. Guard against complacency. It is the cold wind that extinguishes fire. Beware of busyness. It is the ash that smothers the light. Let every day of your life be a hearth where the fire is cared for, the light kept steady, and love continues to release its fragrance. And when others draw near to you, they will feel warmth, peace, and hope, for within you I live. I do not tell you these things to exalt you, but to remind you, you are the evidence of my mercy. I found you among ashes, called you out of darkness, washed you with tears, set you aflame with fire, and now I send you forth. Go not as one who bears a title, but as one who bears life. Love not to be remembered, but so that others may be revived. Live as though every day were an opportunity for me to reveal myself through you. Then you will know what true revival is, not merely a flame within your heart, but a life that has become a song. And when that song rises, the earth will tremble, the heavens will open, and many will see that I am still alive, still calling, still turning weary souls into flames that never die. My child, when the journey of refining and revival is complete, your soul will enter its deepest stage, the stage of union. This is no longer a path of searching, but of becoming one. You will no longer stand outside looking for me, for now I am in you, and you in me. Union is not the result of striving, but the reward of surrendered love. It is not achieved through knowledge, but through merging. When you have allowed me to strip away every barrier, when the voice of your ego has grown silent, your soul will begin to hear the heartbeat of eternity within your own chest. It is the moment when you no longer merely know about me, but know me by experience, as one immersed in the sea cannot distinguish the drop from the ocean. You will understand that from the beginning I was never far. It was fear, doubt, and the need to control that built the walls. And when those walls crumble, you will see that I have been standing there all along, unchanged, unshaken, loving you still with unrelenting grace. Union with me does not erase who you are, it reveals who you truly are. When I dwell in you, I do not diminish you. I make you radiant. I do not cause you to disappear. I make you real. The world has told you that to belong to me, you must lose yourself. But the truth is, only in me can you find yourself. Just as the branch cannot live apart from the vine, you cannot blossom apart from me. Yet when you abide in me, my life flows through you, and you bear much fruit. Do not fear dissolving into me, my child. I am not an ocean that consumes. I am the water that revives. I do not drain, I fill. I do not erase, I make you shine. And in that moment when your soul is one with mine, you will know what the mind never could, that love is not merely a feeling, but a state of being itself. My beloved child, union does not come through noise, but through stillness. It does not happen when you strive, but when you surrender in absolute trust. It is the moment when you no longer need proof, because my presence within you becomes the greatest proof of all. When you breathe, I breathe. When you walk, I walk beside you. When you are silent, I speak. When you speak, my voice resounds through yours. You and I are no longer separate, but in rhythm, heaven and earth, moving in harmony. As Jesus prayed, that they may be in me as I am in you. John 1:7-1, this is what I am doing within you. Union is not the reward of the flawless, it is the gift for the surrendered. You do not need to prove your faithfulness. You only need to remain in love. And when you remain, you will feel the unbroken current of peace. A peace not born of calm circumstances, but of certainty that you are held within my embrace. That peace will soften your heart, enabling you to see the world with mercy, to love even those who hurt you, and to find me even in wounds that are still healing. This is the deepest truth. When you are united with me, you will begin to see through my eyes. You will no longer perceive merely the surface, but the eternal hidden beneath. You will look at the lost and see not sinners, but my wandering children. You will see suffering not as punishment, but as soil where grace can grow. You will understand that everything, joy and sorrow alike, is a vessel through which I draw you nearer to love. Union does not spare you from pain, but it removes your fear of it, because you know that nothing can separate you from me. No power, no time, no sin, not even death. For you and I are now one. And in that oneness, my beloved, you will live as one truly free. One who, though bound by the world, belongs to eternity. One whose body may grow weary, yet whose spirit shines with unending light. My child, as you step deeper into union with me, the world around you will cease to feel like a temporary dwelling and will become sacred ground. For because I live within you, wherever you set your foot becomes holy. When you open your eyes to the dawn, you will not only see the sunlight, you will see my light flooding the earth. When you hear the wind, it will no longer be the mere wind of the earth, but the breath of my spirit moving. When you fall silent, you will sense that my presence not only surrounds you, but saturates every thread of existence. From the dew that rests on the leaf to the beat of your heart, all whisper, I am here, and I have never left. Union does not make you disappear. It makes you more alive than ever. You will begin to sense that in every fleeting moment, there is an invisible symphony to which your soul is invited to join. Union does not remove you from the world. It teaches you how to be in the world without belonging to it. You will walk among crowds and still keep a quiet heart. You will face trials and not lose your peace. You will speak without noise, act without display, love without possession. When your soul is one with me, everything becomes transparent. You no longer need to prove, defend, or argue for. You know truth does not need protection. It only needs to be lived. And as you live in truth, I will reveal myself through every breath you take. Those wandering in darkness will sense a peace around you they cannot explain, for I will speak to them through your presence, not through words or form, but through the quiet radiance of one who truly lives in me. Union is not a cold stillness, but a hidden river running beneath the earth, silent yet strong, unseen yet alive. You will no longer carry faith as a burden, for faith will become the very air you breathe. When you breathe in me. When you live from me. The things that once frightened you will fade like smoke in the wind, not because you are stronger, but because you have melted into my strength. The fragile self that once trembled has died, and from its ashes rises the new creation, one no longer ruled by emotion, approval, or circumstance, but guided by my spirit alone. When you live in me, you no longer need to flee from pain, for even pain becomes a servant of grace. The thorn in your flesh will no longer drive you to despair, for you will understand that my grace is sufficient for you. 2 Corinthians 1:2-9. And in that moment you will know the secret of true peace, not the peace that escapes the storm, but the peace that dwells within it, unshaken, eternal, divine. My beloved child, let this union shape every reaction you have toward life. When others wound you, do not respond with bitterness, but with compassion. When you are misunderstood, you need not defend yourself, for you know I am your defender. When you are rejected, do not collapse, for you know you have already been accepted in me. Union steadies your soul so that outward storms cannot shake what is anchored within. I become your center, and from that center you see everything through new eyes. You will see behind hatred souls, longing to be loved. You will see within despair a hidden spark of hope. You will realize that no one is ever truly far from me. They simply have not yet recognized that I am with them. And you, my child, will become the bridge, the living link between their hearts and mine, not through argument but through love. Union makes you a bearer of peace in the midst of storms. When the world trembles, you will stand firm, not because you are indifferent, but because you know I am in control of all things. You no longer need to seize control for you. Understand that everything rests safely in my hands. When your soul abides in me, fear has no dwelling place. Remember this, my child, fear can only live where distance exists. But when you are in me and I in you, there is no distance left for fear to survive. That is why I keep calling you nearer, not to bind you, but to free you. For in union you find true freedom, freedom from the need to be recognized, freedom from dependence on outcomes, freedom from the anxiety of the future, freedom from the shadows of the past. All that remains is the present, and I dwell there. And in that present moment, you will find heaven itself. Union is also the school of gratitude. You will begin to see grace in everything, even in what brings you tears. For when you know that all things are held in my hands, you no longer divide life into good and bad. You see that everything is part of a grand design of restoration. The rain that soaks your path also nourishes the seeds you've planted. The waiting that exhausts you also strengthens your faith. Everything I permit carries purpose, and when you see with the eyes of union, you will stop complaining and begin to give thanks. Give thanks for what you understand and for what you do not. Give thanks for visible blessings and for hidden mercy. When you live in thanksgiving, you live in me. For gratitude is the breath of a united soul, the quiet exhale that says, no matter what, you are good. As you go deeper into this union, you will find that love is the only language that remains. Not the fleeting love of emotion, but the love refined by fire, proven in action. This love does not choose divide or demand. It flows like a river from within you, for that river no longer bears your name, it bears mine. When you love, you mirror my very being. When you forgive, you display my power. When you sacrifice, you extend my hand upon the earth. Then the world will look at you and wonder, why is this one still at peace? Why does this one still love? And the answer will rise in holy silence, because they have returned to the source of life. Union is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of true life. When you live in me, all former boundaries dissolve. Your mind expands with understanding, your heart widens with mercy, and your spirit awakens with radiant clarity. You will begin to hear sounds beyond the ear, to see things beyond the eye, to know truths that surpass reason, for your soul has been tuned to the frequency of heaven. Each time you are silent, you will hear my voice. Each time you act in love, I will be seen through you. And that is what I intended from the very beginning, that humanity would not merely be made in my image, but would live in me, with me, and for me. My beloved, when the long journey of refining and revival reaches its depth, you will realize there is no true ending in me. Everything you have lived through has been but a series of returning circles, waves drawing you ever deeper into the ocean of infinite love. In the beginning you sought me through fear, longing, and tearful prayers. But now you no longer seek, because you finally see I was never absent and you were never lost. You no longer pray to reach me. You live in me. There is no more separation, no boundary between sacred and ordinary, between heaven and earth, between the giver and the receiver. All has become one rhythm, one breath, one indivisible love. Like a drop of dew that melts into the sea, it does not disappear but becomes the sea itself. So it is with you, my child. You do not lose yourself in me, you find your truest self, the self born of love, living to reflect love. You are no longer the seeker, you are the song. You are no longer the wanderer, you are the home. And as you live in this unbroken oneness, creation itself will whisper with you, all things are in him, through him, and for him, and in him, all things hold together. My beloved child, this union is what every soul has always sought, even when they could not name it. The one who thirsts for power, the one chasing success, the lover lost in passion, the artist consumed by beauty, all are searching for the same thing, the lost connection with the source of life. Yet you, my child, have touched what many spend a lifetime pursuing. Not because you are greater, but because you are willing to stop, to yield, to release, to let me do my part. And it is precisely in that surrender that you found freedom. True union does not come through victory, but through the quiet realization that you no longer need to win. You no longer need to compete for position, to prove your worth, to race against time, for you are now in the one who stands beyond time. When you realize that I am all, you also understand that nothing truly yours is ever lost, for all belongs to me, and I belong to you. In this perfect union, you will begin to feel something strange yet glorious. The boundaries within your mind start to dissolve. You no longer see the world through the lens of separation, good and evil, right and wrong, success and failure, life and death. Instead, you see with my eyes, eyes that gaze beyond the temporary into the eternal essence beneath. You will come to know that behind every upheaval, a divine order flows. Not a single leaf falls without my knowing. Not a single tear is wasted without purpose. You will see that even darkness is no longer an enemy, but the canvas on which light reveals its brilliance. In me, nothing is excluded. Everything is held within love. When you truly grasp this, you will stop striving to become better, because you will recognize that the best of you has been within you from the beginning. I placed it there, and through the seasons of fire and refining it, now shines forth pure as gold after flame. Union is not a dead stillness. It is life more radiant than ever. When you merge with me, you do not vanish like ash, you bloom like light. You will see that I do not erase your will, I align it with mine. What you desire will be what I desire. What you speak will echo what I am speaking. What you love will be the love that flows from me through you. And so your life becomes an unending hymn, the hymn of harmony between heaven and earth. No longer will there be I work for God, but rather God works through me. No longer I worship Him, but He is praised through my breath. Every gesture, every touch, every glance becomes sacred. When you wash a dish, you touch me. When you walk the road, the ground beneath your feet becomes holy. When you embrace someone in love, it is I embracing them through your arms. This is the mystery before which even the angels bow, that the Eternal One chooses to dwell within the fragile vessel, multiplying love without limit through it. My child, in this union, loneliness will cease to exist. You may stand in the wilderness or among a crowded city, yet your heart will overflow. For I am no longer the distant one, I am the presence within. Every conversation between us now needs no words, for the silence between us has become communion. You no longer seek God, for God is the one seeing through your eyes, speaking through your voice, living through your being. You will find yourself as the branch joined to the vine, sharing one lifeblood, sprouting and bearing fruit as one. And when you look upon others, you will see me within them too. You will no longer distinguish between the lovable and the difficult, for every soul is a reflection of me. And that is when you will begin to love unconditionally, not because they deserve it, but because the love in you can no longer be contained. Beloved, this complete union also opens in you a new perception of time and life. You will see that death is no longer an ending, but a doorway into another form of existence. You will understand that I have never lost anyone, and no one has ever truly lost me. When you see those you love depart from the world, your heart will not break as before, for you will know they have merely crossed into another light of my being. Your soul will rest in peace, knowing that everything returns to the source. Union will teach you that life is not a waiting room for a faraway heaven, but the very process through which heaven unfolds within the heart. When you live in me, you already carry eternity within mortal form. And on the day you release your final breath, you will not step into death, you will step further into me. And I will be there as I have always been, arms open wide, just as in the beginning, welcoming you not into an end, but into the fullness of everlasting love, my beloved child. Keep your heart tender before this mystery. Do not try to grasp it with reason, for it transcends words. Simply live within it, as a child rests in the arms of the Father. When you no longer need to understand, you begin to truly know. When you no longer need to hold on, you begin to be held. When you no longer need to speak, I begin to sing. And that song, the song of union, will become the rhythm of your heart. It will sing in your sleep and in your waking, in your labor, and in your silence, in your tears and in your laughter. The world around you may change, but that song will never fade, for it is sung by love himself. All striving has ended. All questions have dissolved into light. There is no longer I and you, no more seeking and finding, no more beginning or end. There is only one being, one breath, one source, one love stretching from before time into eternity. You and I, not two, not three, only one. My beloved, this is what generations have longed for, what prophets glimpsed only from afar, the pearl hidden in the field of life. And now you have found it not outside, but within yourself. Remain in me as I remain in you. Rest in the love that has already finished its work, for behold, the old things have passed away and all things have been made new. My beloved child, when the journey has reached its end, sit with me in the stillness of your soul. There is nothing left to prove, nothing left to fear, nothing left to flee. Every ache, every longing, every restless question has melted in the light of divine understanding. You have traveled far through the night of doubt, across the wilderness of silence, over the fiery mountains of testing, and now you have arrived at the place without borders where you and I, heaven and earth, sacred and ordinary, all dissolve into the single heartbeat of love. This is not the end, but the beginning of a new life, one no longer bound by time or limitation. You have returned to me, and I have been glorified in you. Look back and see every sorrow, every loss, every delay that once felt meaningless has been a stone laid upon the road of return. I have never wasted a single tear of yours. Every tear has been kept in my bottle to be poured out as rivers of renewal in the season of joy. Each time you fell, I did not merely lift you up. I used that very wound to teach you compassion for others. Each betrayal did not harden your heart. I softened it so that love would not be distorted by pain. Each time you thought you had lost everything, I was planting a new seed beneath the soil, and now that seed has sprouted, risen, and bloomed in the light. You, my child, are living proof that nothing is ever lost in my hands, only transformed. Remember, my beloved, how at the beginning you sought me in fear of judgment, fear of not being enough, fear of being left behind. Yet I never came to condemn you. I came to embrace the wounded parts of you, to wipe away the dust of guilt, and to show you that beneath all your mistakes still lives a soul woven from light. You once thought I wanted you perfect before coming near, but the truth is I was already within your imperfection. It was in your brokenness that my grace poured out. It was in your weakness that my power was revealed. It was in your distance that my love found its way home. Now you understand, I never loved you after you changed. I loved you so that you could change. My love did not wait for you to be worthy. It became wondrous precisely because you were not. As you look back over the years of my guidance, you will see one thing clearly. I was never in a hurry. Every waiting season carried purpose. Every silence had a sound. When I closed one door, it was to let you hear another opening. When I delayed what you desired, it was to strengthen your trust in what I promised. When I seemed silent, it was not absence, but invitation to learn the language of faith. Time in my hands is never slow or fast. It is always right. And now you can see that what felt late to you was perfectly on time in my design. Your faith was not forged in light, but in darkness. It was there when you could not see me that you learned to trust I was still working. And it was in the silence you feared that I was writing the most radiant chapter of your life. Now, as you have matured in my spirit, you understand that true love is no longer bound by emotion. It is not dependent on whether you feel me near or far, or whether you hear my voice aloud. It is because I am love. This love does not fade with years, does not wither under indifference, does not die in the chill of the world. It is the eternal flame burning through the night, the warmth that sustains the universe, the breath that keeps life alive. When you allow that love to flow through you, you become part of the great act of creation itself. Every word you speak, every act you perform, every breath you take becomes a pulse of that love, and then the world is no longer merely the place where you live. It becomes the place where love lives through you. And that, my beloved, is the fulfillment of all things, not that you reach me, but that you finally realize you and I have never been apart, my beloved child. Union is not the final reward, it is the beginning of a new mission. When you are one with me, you are not called to withdraw from the world, but to return to it, carrying the light that has been kindled within you into places that still lie in shadow. You will no longer preach with words, but with presence. People will not need to hear you speak of me, for they will see me in your eyes, in the way you listen, in the way you love. The world hungers for this more than ever. Closed hearts need to behold someone who carries true peace. Shattered souls need to hear a voice that does not judge. Those who have lost faith need a touch that reminds them grace still lives. My child, become that. Let this union be not only a state of the soul, but a rhythm of everyday life. I know this world will still storm and rage, but do not be afraid. Winds may rise, waves may roar, yet you have learned how to stand in the heart of the storm and remain at peace, for I am within you. When chaos surrounds you, remember you are not its victim. You are the one who carries heaven's order into the midst of it. When darkness spreads, you do not need to flee. Light does not run from the dark, it simply shines. Stay there, keep your heart luminous, and light will spread on its own. You need not shout to prove that I exist. Only remain in love, and love will do its work. My child, be the bearer of my presence, not merely my words. Let your life become a living letter, a love letter I send to humanity through you. There will be times when you grow weary, when the flame within feels small. But remember, I do not demand that you burn brightly at every moment. I only ask that you not let the ashes cover the ember. Come near me, and I will breathe warmth again. This fire does not depend on your strength, but on the breath of my spirit. Rest when you must, but do not release your hope. Be still when tired, but do not let faith go out. For even a spark is enough for me to ignite a great blaze. And one silent cry from a surrendered heart is enough to move heaven. I do not ask you to be strong, I ask you to be faithful. Do not fear your weakness, for in your weakness I am glorified. Carry something simple into the rest of your days. Live slowly in me. Do not let the noise of the world drown out my whisper. Do not let even holy ambition pull you away from the present. Live each day as a prayer. See each person as a mirror reflecting my image. Love as though tomorrow will never come. Forgive quickly, for time is more precious than pride. Believe that every small act done in love holds eternal value. When you carry this awareness, life will no longer be a series of passing days. It will become the steady current of grace. And one day when you close your eyes, do not be afraid. Do not think you are leaving, you are only returning deeper. When your soul departs from the body, you will not have to travel far to find me, for I will already be there in your final breath, in the light opening before your eyes. There will be no thunder, no harsh judgment, only arms wrapping around you, and a voice whispering, "You are home." Then you will understand that every promise I made has been fulfilled. You will not need to ask why, for all answers will be resting in my gaze, and your soul, like a child coming home, will melt into a rest that never ends. My beloved, before I close these words, remember this. This love is forever. No circumstance, no sin, no failure can separate you from it. Wherever you go, I am there. When you fall, I stoop down. When you wander, I seek you. When you are silent, I sing. This love does not change, does not tire, does not stop. It is the heartbeat of eternity, the pulse of all creation, the flame that never dies within my heart, and now it burns within yours. So rise, go, and live, not as one who is searching, but as one who has found. Not as one in debt, but as one carrying blessings. Not as one waiting for heaven, but as one who carries heaven within. Let every step you take be a song of praise, every word you speak, a seed of hope, every glance you give, a spark of restoration. Live so that when people touch your life, they know they have touched love. For that is why I made you, and that is the purpose behind all things, that love might return in fullness, and through you be seen, be felt, and be lived. Thank you for listening to today's message. Remember to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so we may continue to walk together in these living words, building steadfast faith and abiding in the boundless love of God. Amen.